At sunset behind the hill, I gazed out upon it, in all its final glory, before it was to go into hibernation for about 10 months. It's always around this time of year when you are most. Once the sun's down, the further longship stops growing and Mars goes into a planet hydron. As I was lost in thought, he came into view. From the mountainside he rode across the Martian desert. This man I would soon meet would spell my doom. It was on this day he rode up in his Martian rover and introduced himself to me.
Hey, what you doing out at this time? Sun's going down.
He shouted from the rover. Just watching the sunset is all. I really admire the everlasting beauty of its race upon our Martian sands.
Well, I'll be getting inside soon, sir, because you know what happens on these kind of nights.
I know, I don't really got anywhere to go. He looked around, thinking, then it seemed as if he had come to a solution, one that would sicken me if I'd known it as I did not.
You can stay at my place if you want. Company's always welcome.
He smiled. Oh, that smile, it will haunt me forever. I guess if it's not that big of a deal.
Oh no, of course not.
This action sealed my fate, which was yet to come. I got in his old rover and we drove to his home. The drive was silent. Aside from the occasional grunt from him, he would stare at me for so long I began to worry we would crash. Yet somehow we arrived to his humble abode. Once he parked outside, he quickly tried pushing me inside. His home seemed rather nice for a Martian colonist. 2 floors and even a bit of an artificial lawn. I was almost jealous, but I was snapped back to reality, or at least a semblance of it, by a phrase which I shouldn't ever forget now. A phrase which I now live by.
You can never be too early on these kinds of nights. Come on, let's get inside.
Oh, definitely. He stared at me for what seemed like decades, almost as if he were taking in a moment, before finally opening the door. When we walked in, I first took note of how many art curiosities he had, such as ancient artifacts and works of art.
Take a seat, please.
He mumbled, moving towards what I could only assume was his bedroom. As I sat there in the never-ending silence, I began to ponder over what he was going to get in there. How foolish I was to not already know what he was going to grab. It had already been specially predesigned, a fate specially picked as to me. In one instant, I saw him step into view from the hallway, shotgun in hand, and then shot. It took me a moment to register what had happened. Before I truly understood the gravity of the situation, I had been had. Another joke life has whispered on me. Apparently it was the last one, as well. As my soul left my body and my vision grew dim, I saw the grin on his face as he loomed over my now deceased corpse. He stopped, bent down, and checked my pocket. I wanted to scream out, to kick him away. All I could do was use the last moments of my consciousness to hate him for what he had done to me. I had trusted him. And now I paid the price. I guess it's my fault for being so ignored. My parents always told me never to trust strangers. How truly foolish I am. I deserve this. No, as he rips up my internal organs and begins to devour them. My vision went completely dark at last, and thoughts ceased.